starting a business and being a wedding planner is not anything I ever had on my bingo card.
She showed up with flowers and a card. Like, who does that, Kristin?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. Today I was listening to one with Simon Sinek, and he said our world and just everybody as a whole is so all about self-care and what are we doing to take care of ourselves. But he was proposing if we focus more on taking care of one another instead of ourselves, we wouldn't need the whole self-care industry. Somebody bringing you flowers or a handwritten card or remembering your birthday or whatever, I think just really means a lot.
People don't remember what you say. People remember how you made them feel.
Our goal at the end of it all, it's kind of a cliche when they say it flies by, but it is true, is allowing our clients to be as present as they possibly can on the wedding day. And that's when they're able to be present to soak in those magic moments. I'm doing this for 15 years because I still love it. The day I fall out of love with it is the day I need to stop doing it, because that's not of service to my clients or myself and my family. I hear from a lot of people, and even have had girls want to join our team or intern with us that almost want that like overnight, just like you're there. And I don't think there's many industries that works in, but I certainly don't think in this industry it does. There's just so much knowledge. Only way you're going to gain it is with experience. It's a lot of hard work, and there is sacrifice that comes along with it as well. If you're going into it just thinking it's like this fun, glamorous industry, which it can be those things, you're going to be disappointed and probably get burnt out pretty quickly.
Behind every beautiful wedding is a story worth preserving. Hi, I'm your host, Andrea, founder of the nation's premier bouquet preservation studio. Through building that company, I've had a front row seat to thousands of weddings and the incredible professionals behind them. On Bridal Club, I bring you conversations with the experts shaping today's weddings. It's for couples planning their perfect day and the pros who make it happen. Welcome to the club, to Bridal Club.
Welcome back to another episode of Bridal Club. I have a very special guest today. She came in with flowers. And I literally have on my notes here, heart of gold. I literally have that
so
here.
Sweet.
No, she is. When I met her, she made me feel so comfortable. She was so welcoming. And I'm just so excited for you to actually know her story and honestly learn more about who she is and what drives her. So help me welcome Kristin Mullen with Events by Kristin to the episode.
Well, thank you so much. Truly, it's an honor to be here. And thank you so much for those kind words. That really
I mean it.
The feeling is mutual.
Oh, thank you. I told you that at the event that you produced for WIPA, because I had seen you once before here actually at the studio. And I just remember my mom and I talking about it. I was like, she's like the kindest. She wanted to take a photo with me. Like, she was just so grateful. Like, some people came and went, and you just made sure that you made me feel important. And I love that about you.
Well, thank you for that. I will say I truly believe in relationships and, we all have stories and getting to know one another and, how you like to work and kind of veering off topic here. But I do think that's even a lot of what's gotten our business to where we are today is that we do truly value, the people that we get to work with, that we do life with, that we get to serve our clients with. So getting to know them beyond just what they can produce or what they can do has always been really important to us.
Yeah, I can understand that. And again, I'm really glad that you're here because I feel like people need to know who you are, even through the lens and hopefully through just sharing your story. Again, guys, she showed up with flowers and a card. Like, who does that, Kristin?
I don't like to show up anywhere empty-handed ever.
Oh, I'm the same way.
But thank
I love
you.
it. I love it. Hey, Kristin, take us back to where it all started. You've been in the industry for quite a while, but I want to know what motivated you to start this journey?
Yeah. So kind of going way back, my degrees in communications and public relations, decided that I think between freshman and sophomore year that's what I wanted to focus on, but I wasn't for sure what I wanted to do with that yet. At one point in time, I really thought I wanted to go into the PR world, but was still trying to kind of work through that and figure all that out. And while in college, I was, I guess technically still am, a Chi Omega. And my junior year, I was asked to be our philanthropy chair. So our philanthropy is the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which will forever be really near and dear to my heart and all the incredible things that they do. But yeah, served as philanthropy chair, and we had a big chili cook-off. Kind of the biggest project for that was planning and coordinating and bringing to life the chili cook-off that benefited it. Had no idea what I was committing to or what I was getting myself into, and I sometimes jokingly say halfway through kind of regretted that just because it was a lot larger of a commitment than I anticipated. But to see it all come to life, I mean, the weather was perfect. We had a big country band, raised more money than we ever had.
Wow.
It just was so rewarding. And so it's like to see all this hard work truly come to life right before your eyes makes it all worthwhile. And so through that experience is really what made me kind of have an interest, and I say kind of start my love for event planning. But at the time, I thought I wanted to go into the nonprofit side of it.
After you graduated, I mean, obviously you loved the planning, the coordination, executing the event, and obviously super proud of what you created, right?
Yes.
So how many years after you graduated did you actually start doing wedding planning? And did you did you actually find another job somewhere else?
Yes. So like I mentioned, wanted to go into nonprofit. When I graduated, nonprofit jobs were slim pickings, if anything at all. And knew I wanted to come back to the Metroplex, grew up here, and knew I wanted to come back to home. And so I got a job at a country club, a private club, as the private event coordinator. They did a lot of golf tournaments, chamber events, but then of course, a lot of weddings as well. And so that's honestly what introduced me into the wedding world.
Okay.
So growing up, I wasn't the girl, reading the bridal magazines or planning my own wedding or dreaming of it all. And so I worked there for a year and a half, and about half of our clients would bring in outside third-party wedding planners, and the other half just relied on mom, friends, venue coordinator. And I saw what a difference like a true wedding planner made in the day of. And I was working a ton. I mean, at that point, it was every single weekend, holidays nonstop. And at the end of the day, it's also a sales position, and I'm just not a sales corporate girl whatsoever. And so I took a big leap of faith and started Events by Kristin.
That's awesome. I mean, you're obviously so genuine and you love to serve. Help us understand like how that shaped you to who you are today.
I just think coming alongside people in the different seasons of where they are. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and actually just on the way here today, I was listening to one with Simon Sinek. I don't know if you know him.
No, I don't.
And he said our world and just everybody as a whole is so all about, self-care and what are we doing to take care of ourselves. But he was proposing if we focus more on taking care of one another instead of ourselves, we wouldn't need the whole self-care industry. And I just have always kind of felt that deep down. I felt like he just articulated it really well. That, I mean, somebody bringing you flowers or a handwritten card or remembering your birthday or whatever, I think just really means a lot more. Yes, we love producing beautiful events and whatnot, but really at the heart of it all is just meeting people where they are, learning how we could serve them, how we can be there for them. And that's just always kind of been my personality.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back to that podcast episode later because I want to listen to it.
Yes.
I do agree. Like whenever you're concentrating on yourself, that is when you start spiraling sometimes.
Yep.
Whenever you're serving others and truly concentrating on others, whether you have a business or your family members or somebody who you can actually serve and help, I mean, your whole entire world changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that you touch base on that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And that is something, while it's weddings, we bring it to life. I always do say we are serving our clients as well. And yes, it's wedding focused, but there's, so many different relationships and stresses and dynamics going on through that we always try to keep that in the back of our mind. And
I love that. And obviously, like, if you're so nice to a vendor, I cannot imagine, like, how you are to, like, a couple that you're working, honestly, almost daily for, like, a year or something like that. That's so fun.
It's sweet. We do love our couples.
You often speak about creating magic moments, and I want to know what you mean by that.
I kind of piggyback on some of the items we already talked about. I don't, and I'll even take this back to my country club days and even working with Make-A-Wish, is magic moments don't have to be these grandiose, so over the top, really planned, hard moments. It can be really just like buying them a cup of coffee or sending an encouraging text message. So that's more personal life. When it comes to work, our goal at the end of it all, it's kind of a cliche when they say it flies by, but it is true, is allowing our clients to be as present as they possibly can on the wedding day. And that's when they're able to be present to soak in those magic moments. So what that is going to look different for every single client. But if they have that trust in us, if we've built that relationship and the vendors that they've hired for the day of, then they're able to be present to soak it all in and remember it because it's going to fly by regardless.
Yeah, I like to say that is the fastest day of one's life.
Oh, yes.
I know it doesn't make like math.
Yes.
But it's true.
No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, I also say that I feel like I was high on something, high on life, I guess. Like you almost feel like an out of body experience, and all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, and everything's gone.
It's like an adrenaline rush, and you don't feel exhausted or anything, and then it hits and you come down.
I mean, it's like a dream. Oh my gosh. And that is so amazing that you're able to be a part of that. Obviously, in the world of preserving, I love to preserve the flowers so people can remember those days because they're so important. I mean, honestly, it's like the most important of your life in one day. The most important decision of your life in one day.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's countless hours and decisions and money, of course, everything's put into it. Yeah,
there's a lot of emotions leading to the wedding day. I mean, a lot of them. You're going to see brides cry. You're going to see them like super happy, super excited, super stressed. I mean, help me understand the journey with working with you for a couple?
So we do offer exclusively full service planning, which means we're by your side from usually decision one. Sometimes there are brides that have a date and a venue nailed down prior to bringing us on board. But a lot of times, they call us, they're newly engaged. They may have an idea of a general location or timeline, but they don't really know where to start. And so we kind of have all the preliminary conversations as far as budget, what is your expected timeline, guest count, visions, priorities, etc. But we truly are by their side through every decision, from the big ones like your date and your venue, of course your photographer, band, entertainment, etc., all the way down to hotel room blocks and transportation and stationery, and then of course all the day of execution and whatnot. So
obviously just tying everything together, but there's a lot of people whenever you see them and talk to them, you feel like zen, and like they have a beautiful aura. That's you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Do you ever like get stressed during the wedding day, or like how do you keep yourself like so grounded and making sure that you're like, that beautiful smile that you have right now? How do you do that when there's so many things going in the back?
I will say that is probably the highest compliment, and I get it often from clients, is like, if something went wrong, we had no idea because you just seemed calm, cool, and collective the whole time. I think it's experience. Again, I think some of that's just kind of who I've been. I grew up with 2 younger brothers, so, chaos and rowdiness or whatnot, and I was the older sister, just, trying to keep everybody at bay or whatnot. But with experience, we've realized, I jokingly say sometimes, we've seen it all at this part, but that's not true. Things still come up and surprise us at times. But if we've learned anything doing it, it's that things do truly work out. And me meeting, the chaos or the calm that is not going to change it or find a solution or bring anything any better. So the calmer and more kind of cool and collective that we can stay, usually the quicker and better solution we can find or pivot or whatever that looks like in that situation. But yes, that is a compliment I get paid quite regularly.
It's just a great compliment too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
And I also want to talk to you about faith and family. I know they're very important to you, and obviously you can see why. I lately, over the past like year or two, I feel like whenever there's a lot of chaos, like this morning, I'm not gonna say exactly what happened, but it was a bomb, and I was obviously preparing for it on my personal life, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
we're fine, but I was preparing for this, and I was like, today's a very important day, because I've never done this before, like back to back people, important people that I really want to have like a blast with, and make sure that we do everything right. So you guys are, you're a wedding planner. Of course, you're going to, like, the experience matters a lot, right? So I wanted this day to be perfect. And I'm like, they're trying to like be zen and like making sure my day is going right, every single decision. And then something goes off like, and I'm like, you know what? Just trust God, because when you do, everything works out. When you feel like it's not working out, it's just your anxiety because you're in your head. Yep. So I was like, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Perhaps it's just a lesson that like I am able to put this aside for a moment, and concentrate on this and know God knows why.
Absolutely.
And I love that you are the same way.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit to you about the faith and family, like values that you have, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would love to. Obviously, faith and family, like you just mentioned, are incredibly important. I do have 2 little boys that are my absolute world. While I love my job and take a lot of pride into it, I always say mom will always and forever be number 1 to me. But it is nice with this job that I do feel like it took a couple years. Don't get me wrong. It took some balance and, hard lessons and picking up and dropping here and there. And there's still days and weeks, that are better at it. Right now, I'm in a little bit of a slower season. This past December was chaos. I'm at a school Christmas party that I still have a little bit of mom guilt about. But to your point, it's just having to let go of, we can't control what we can't control. And I try to remind myself we're showing them, my husband and I, hard work and, that we work hard, and just kind of instilling that in them as well. But yes, it is just trusting that there's always a bigger plan. If I got more into even how I ended up here, I'm fully know that it was a God thing, just because starting a business and being a wedding planner is not anything I ever had on my bingo card or radar. But it's just, taking it in stride and trusting that the path and the vision is bigger than what we can see. And it always works out even better.
Yeah, I agree. Again, just trusting. There's always a way. And then looking back, it makes sense. Like even the things that you were not happy about, even the things that were super hard, they always end up making sense. And at the end, they make you stronger for sure. How many years have you been in the business?
This October will be 15 years since I've had my business. Yeah, which is wild. And kind of going back to that last point, going back to kind of the early days, I thought I wanted to go into the nonprofit world, and I really wanted a job with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So when that didn't work out, I honestly was heartbroken. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, this is what I thought was going to happen. I've always kind of been a planner, was really bummed by that. But if I would have gotten that job like I wanted right out of college, I don't think I'd be sitting here or doing what I'm doing now, which, is really fulfilling and we really love. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a marketing job for a tile company, a manufacturer, for 7 years, and the first 5 were so incredible. I mean, my boss was my mentor, and having a good boss, it changes your world.
Absolutely.
If she had stayed, I would have been there for my entire career. I mean, I loved going to work, and then I got a boss that was not so much like that for 2 years. I was like finding myself like literally depressed.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, it was really bad. And like she would invite everybody to lunch, and she would just set me aside from the marketing team, and I just didn't understand why I was dealing with that.
Yes.
And ultimately, I started doing press flowers on the side, and I grew my business for like 1.5 years to where I was able to quit my job. And if I had not had her as my boss, which I didn't understand at the time, I would have never quit.
Yeah.
Never.
It's funny to look back. Not funny is not even the right word. It's so incredible to look back and see our paths and the pivots that they take and then where they lead us to, even if we viewed them as disappointments or frustrations at the time.
Yes, I totally agree. I want to know what sets you apart from others. Can we talk about that?
Sure. Always kind of a challenging question, just because I do think there's so much incredible talent out there, specifically just in Dallas, but of course all over. I have some peers and colleagues and friends, I'm lucky to call a lot of them friends, that I just really admire and look up to. But I will say, I think it's just kind of what you've already touched on, how calm, cool, and collective we really can stay through everything. And then just how much we care. We genuinely care. I say we've been doing this for 15 years because I still love it. And I've always said the day I fall out of love with it is the day I need to stop doing it, just because that's not of service to my clients or myself and my family. And so I wake up truly on, clients' wedding days. I half the time don't sleep the night before like they don't, because we're just like giddy and excited to see it all come together, because, no two designs are the same. No two teams of vendors are the exact same. And then just getting to see them soak in all the moments is not something we've ever, become numb to or weary to. It's still just really, really joyful.
That's awesome. So 2 things come to mind. First is, I don't know, you probably have heard this quote, but it's people don't remember what you say. People remember how you made them feel. So that is like literally like describing who you are and obviously like your brand.
That's very good.
Yeah, I love that. And then also the experience, we touched base on this. 15 years is a long time.
I know. It makes me feel old saying that. I'm like, I haven't been out of college that long, have I?
But like for somebody to be exceptional at their craft, it takes 10,000 hours. I didn't make this up, by the way.
Okay.
It's from a book called Outliers.
Okay.
And I love that book.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's by Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay.
But anyway, so 10,000 hours is for somebody to be actually proficient at something, and 10,000 hours equates to about 5 years of 40-hour weekdays, which is, if you're an entrepreneur and you're obsessed with your craft, you typically work like 80 hours.
A lot more than 40 hours.
So you can probably do that like in 2.5 years, know, but that is a ton of time just to be good at it. And then comes like, as you said, like changing things here and there, how not to get upset with like something if something went wrong. Like all of that comes with experience. And at the end of the day, going back to how you make people feel, you're able to do that because of the experience that you gain in those 15 years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Who we are today in the business, I wish I could say, it's always been this steadfast, but no, everything, there's seasons. And early in the years, I would take any and every wedding that was willing to give me an opportunity, so we were taking a lot more, and we were kind of not running ragged because, had the availability, was so eager to learn and get all those experiences. But that is one of the nice things is over the 15 years, of course, it's evolved and changed a lot with just different seasons of life.
Yeah, agreed. What is your favorite part of planning the wedding?
Honestly, the relationships. It's getting to know the couple. It's getting to know, how they met, what they're most excited about. And then beyond that, even bringing the families into it. We had a wedding this past December, and she was had a twin brother. And her twin brother was her best man, or one of the bridesmaids, if you will. And just how sweet their relationship was, the first looks with the dads. It's just getting to like almost come alongside. I joke. I'm like, okay, adopt me for the weekend, and just getting to know those stories and then just seeing it all come to life. Of course, the room reveals are always really, really exciting. They've planned, made all these decisions, so them to get to see it all come together. The ceremonies themselves are always really sacred and special in my opinion, but it's just the relationships that we build throughout. I honestly yesterday got a baby shower for one of our past brides. Actually got married a year ago. And then a text today from another past bride sharing some baby news and exciting. So the fact that those relationships can extend beyond the day of is also always such an honor and something we're just excited to celebrate all those seasons with them.
Yeah, I love that. I actually just did a solo episode, as I was telling you, and I talked about marketing marketing and branding and the difference between those. Marketing is what brings you leads, and then branding is what makes people actually pay you, you know? And part of branding is honestly like the experience. If people are happy, they're going to talk about your business and they're going to come back. That's branding.
Absolutely.
And it's like the soul of what the company is. And especially in the wedding industry, the CEO, like the founder, is so crucial. And who you are is your brand. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
no, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. So is there an advice that you would like to give somebody planning a wedding? People are listening, by the way, like from across the globe.
I love that.
Yeah, I know, me too.
First of all, congratulations on what you built. This podcast is incredible.
You know, we actually try to kill the podcast a couple times because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And I'm just so glad that we didn't. I want two things, because a lot of people that are listening are actually vendors as well. So not just brides to be. So I want an advice from you for brides, and then also an advice from you from somebody wanting to come into the wedding industry.
For brides, I would just say identify early on with you and your groom or whoever your partner is. What's most important to you? What are your non-negotiables, and what are the areas maybe you're willing to give or lax on? You are going to get a ton of opinions. Some of them will be warranted and solicited. Some of them will not. And at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to please everyone. And so I think kind of just having these are our key foundation points, priorities, whatever we want to call them. And then everything else we can kind of let go and fall by the wayside, and just referring back to that. So as you're making these, I heard someone recently say it's like 3,000 micro decisions that go into wedding planning.
3,000?
Which, is crazy to try to wrap your brain around.
So is that for a couple that doesn't have a planner, or is that?
I think that's just an average of wedding planning in general.
Oh my God. So
from, who are we putting on the guest list to what's our first dance going to be to what flavor cake. I mean, if you think of every tiny little thing, what font are we using on the invitation? And it might be. I think that's just like an average. But when you hear that, I feel like it'd be easy to get decision fatigue, because that just seems like, wait a minute, what? So know what's important to you, and then take it one step at a time. I mean, and trust the process. Like we've already kind of touched on, things are not always going to go perfectly.
Yes.
There's going to be things you have to pivot on, kind of go into it expecting that. Over the years, I'll be honest, when I hear somebody, especially early in the inquiry process and kind of interview process, if they're using the word perfect too much, that's a little bit of a red flag for us, just because, totally honest, our expectation is perfection. Like we want us and our vendors to show up with perfection. We all know that's not life. Like things happen, people get sick, whatever. Flowers may come in a slightly different shade. There's just things that are out of a lot of people's control. So go into it knowing it's going to be the best that it possibly can and how it's supposed to, but know what's like kind of worth digging your heels in the sand on, and what's worth letting go of.
I mean, honestly, yes. I specifically remember things that didn't necessarily go how I wanted at the wedding, but the like all the rest did, and it was so grand that I can care less if the things were
it falls
there.
By the wayside.
Oh my God, you know what I mean? Because everything else was so splendid.
Absolutely.
So before jumping on the advice for the vendor, I want to talk about the non-negotiables, because people that are just engaged or they probably are not very familiar with what you meant there. Can you please explain what that means?
So it might be, we want a live band, and that's going to be the most important to us, because a lot of times there are budget restrictions. Very rarely do people just have unlimited funds. And so I say it's almost like a big puzzle you're putting together of when you start looking at your budget, when you get your venue, that's obviously venue, food and beverage is going to be the largest ticket of that. From there, are we wanting over the top flowers or a really cool flower installation of some kind, or hanging over the dance floor, or our flowers not as important, but we want the most incredible live band that we can find, or you want that second reception dress, like you're a fashionista and you want the wonderful shoot, just identifying what your priorities are.
How many do you recommend? Like because obviously we want all the things.
2 to 3, I think ideally, of just kind of almost, or even just do a priority list. Like what are our top?
Okay.
And then you take the top, couple.
Perfect.
And then let everything else kind of way by, because then you can keep your focus on what matters instead of trying to perfect absolutely or overthink every single thing.
Yeah. I love that advice so much. Thank you. So now for vendors that are either in the industry and they're listening because they look up to you, or people that want to start being in the wedding industry and they're hesitant, what would you say?
Don't be scared of hard work. Don't be scared of accepting every opportunity. Like if you're new to it, trying to get in. When I say I truly said yes to absolutely everything from taking clients, but also networking events or styled shoots or coffee dates, every email, lunch dates. I mean, I really was out there wanting to build those relationships and gain that experience any way that I can. I hear from a lot of people, and even have had girls, want to join our team or intern with us, that almost want that like overnight, just like you're there. And I don't think there's many industries that works in, but I certainly don't think in this industry it does. I mean, there's just so much knowledge that the only way you're going to gain it is with experience. And it is hard work. I always say we show the really pretty, beautiful, photos of it completed, but not necessarily all the behind the scenes and everything that goes into the 15 plus hours, in heels or on our feet or missing, not being at home with my kid that's sick or whatever it is. So while it's wonderful and we love it, it's a lot of hard work and there is sacrifice that comes along with it as well. And so I think if you're going into it just thinking it's like this fun, glamorous industry, which it can be those things, you're going to be disappointed and probably get burnt out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you do everything so gracefully and again with a smile on your face. So people are probably looking and like, oh, she makes it look so easy. Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's hard work. You make it look so easy because
like
of the
I could tell you the not pretty stories.
Yeah.
So we usually try to keep that off the internet.
Yeah,
but
I know.
with weddings, and alcohol and everything, there's all kinds of crazy things that come about.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, we do like to focus on the positive.
Of course, always.
Yes.
Thank you so much again for coming. Where can people find you, connect with you, and hire you to plan their wedding?
Oh, you're so kind. On Events by Kristin, it's Kristin, I think is what we are on all social platforms. And I want to thank you again for having me. This has been so fun.
I know, it went by so fast.
It's truly an honor. I know.
I know. I love you so much. This was so perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for my flowers.